Hello. All right. I can still hear the sound of the thunderstorm in the background, but you can't because I never added that microphone in there. All right. So, thank you for being here tonight, especially after last episode where I was exhausted beyond belief. And I had a few moments where I just stopped being aware of what was happening. It's even more painful for me because, well, you don't know me the way that I know me. I was editing all of this and I just realized, oh goodness, that's not me. Right, well, today, hopefully, I am more awake. I will be more mindful of my microphone, although I think I mostly solved the problem. The thumping sound. No. Well, it's not as worse as it was, but it's still annoying. Alright. Hey, that sounds good. Alright, maybe. Alright. So, as you can see, I was messing with the legend as I was waiting, and I realized that 2 of the name tags were bugged, so I had to erase them. Also, I think we're gonna be honest with me, and I know you will most likely not answer, but anyway, be honest with me. Are the roads a bit thick? Because when you look at it, and this is something that you'll have to figure out on your own while you're doing this, there still need to be some level of, oh, I recognize what this is. It's a map. But I feel like all I can see are the roads. And maybe it's because I was tired last time that I didn't see it, but now I sort of do. It's not pretty. So I was thinking maybe we should just make the path between the town a little thinner. Especially since this is going to be the size of the map once it's finished. This is 100% size. So, does feel like don't worry. I'm not gonna fall asleep. If you were there last episode, well, no, not last episode. Yeah, yesterday, while we were doing the live D&D episode, you'll know that I am sick again, but that this time the problem is different. I may have to interrupt the stream so I can run to the bathroom and be very impolite with the toilet bowl. Hopefully it won't get to that, but if it does, well, at least you'll know why, and hopefully it won't happen. Alright, so let's just check. Everything is good, everything's fine. Hey, average of 0 people watching, that's cool. So I am talking to myself. Oh, again. Okay. Don't worry, I'm used to it. I do this all the time. Alright. Just wanted to check. Make sure that everything was rolling. Would have been ashamed if Nothing was there. All right, so the legend. I'll give you a few moments to think about the path, but since no one's gonna answer, I will most likely take a little bit of time doing this because I feel like we're almost done. Only the legends is really left. After that, it's mostly details. Details which are gonna make the map a little more interesting, a little bit more fun to be in, to live in, to take it as if it was where you'll be spending countless adventures. And I'm also not looking forward to labeling every town. I hate making names. I'm not good at that. Fortunately, well, if you don't mind, there is a name generator inside of WonderDraft. So, but I don't. It's not a good name generator. Anyways, hey, autosave. All right. Anyways, let's finish this legend. All right. No, I don't want. It's a little slightly annoying. All right. So, if you've been doing this at home, trying to figure this out, doing things as we're doing it, making your own map essentially. You might have a little problem with the labels. In the sense that once you've written them, they sort of feel nearly impossible to move. That's because there's a little trick to it. You need to click on the first letter of the word. If you click somewhere else, well, it depends. Okay, well, a few minutes ago, only the first letter worked. Now it's all working. I don't know why. I'm not an expert at this yet. I've made a dozen map maybe, but I'm still not an expert at everything that you can find in there. All right, so symbols. We need to put everything in there. So we have capital cities, towns, villages, temple. I know this is probably slightly annoying when you're doing this, but you have to do this properly. You can't just switch between elements on the map. You need to go to the proper category. So now I want to move the labels. So I have to go to labels. Then I can move them. And for some reason, the labels, I don't know why they made that decision, but you can only move them if you are on the label tool. Everything else, you can just use the move label, and it works. But for labels, it doesn't. Not sure why. Anyways, so cities. I'm sorry. I am going to be yawning a little bit. But don't worry, I should not have any problems remaining mostly awake. Well, as awake as someone that only has 5 hours of sleep can stay awake. Please tell me if I start dozing off again. It was painful to watch. Someone had warned me before. You know, I might have actually ended just a little bit earlier. Hey, where's the temple label? Oh, maybe it was one of those that I erased. Temple. All right. after that, we go to... No, I don't want to put another label. We go to symbols. Gonna put the swamp back. And then we're gonna put the tall grass. No, just well, that's slightly annoying. Should I or shouldn't I? Maybe just 3 like this. Should have made like a little character. Little happy face. Label. Swamp. Town. Villages. Now, if anyone's listening, do you remember what the difference is between a town and a village? Now, don't be shy. Alright, I'll tell you. Village is something small. According to medieval standard, they used to call a village something that had, I think, up to 12 houses. Town, I think, went up to 50 houses. I'm not sure. And then anything above was a city. No, not 50 houses. It's too much. I think it's 30. Something, yeah, 30 houses. So yeah, it's small. Tall grass, symbol, tall grass. Well, small. Still, it's relatively speaking, of course. They sort of had a different standard for small. I believe, and don't quote me on this one, that this has been a while, but I believe that an average family was made of 6 people, so essentially 6 living person. So father, mother, 4 children, 4 living children. But during the Middle Ages, the during the Middle Ages, the death rate of children was nearly 50%. So if you had 4 living, hey, no, not D&D, map making. Wednesdays, it's Dungeon Dragon live. Thursdays, it's map making. And Friday, it's rebroadcasts of the Wednesday. I only have 3 broadcasting days so far. We're almost done with the map. Let's see if I can just see. Using WonderDraft. Just showing people how to use it, how to make maps. Teaching a few things if you want to put some realism in your maps. It's probably still 1 or 2 other episodes until it's done. And after it's done, they're going to be placed on my Patreon. So subscribers will be able to have the map, play with it on their own, at home, for their own campaign. Hey, you might even be able to play with one of these maps in one of your own campaign. Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, I'm using WonderDraft. Right now, we are finishing up the elements. Probably going to retouch the path, because the path between the town, villages, and cities, because they feel a little bit thick, which sort of breaks the aesthetic of the map. But right now, we're making a legend, because it's always important. You know, everyone needs to know what they're doing. Where was I? Hills. Go back to labels. Well, I feel like there's a theme with last night. I think you like mimics. And yes, I did pay attention to everything you wrote. But since I'm the dungeon master, I don't have necessarily enough time to answer everything, because I am the person that is the most solicited while playing. So yeah, well, cult are fairly normal in D&D. Well, in every world, essentially. Symbol, go back to label. Right. So, no, I don't want any label for this. Symbols. Alright. Maybe I made this a little too big. Let's try and see if we can't get one that is a little smaller. Pretty one, but that's not the one I have. That's not the one. That's not the one. That's not the one. That's not the one. So, tell me more about this cult. Does it involve mimic? Oh yeah, I remember. You were starting to talk about this when I suddenly needed to go to the bathroom. Yeah, microphone starting to it drew the attention of the player who calls this character audience, because he technically has a cult, but his character calls it a religion, but it is technically a cult. And it is based around dragons. Well, if you want to do this, you're going to need a lot of strong people, because dragons in Dungeons and Dragons are relatively powerful creatures. They were more powerful in the past. Past edition dragons were dangerous. They still are. Just not as much as previous edition. So these mountains, and this one is the same. And the path. All right, so can give a little bit more room. Well, it is an interesting cult because you can also say that this cult is based around dragon slayers. I even think there is a dragon slayer subclass in one of the books. Don't remember which one. Oh no, that's a different ritual. There actually is a magical ritual to transform a person into a dragon. It creates half dragons. Considered an evil ritual. But that can be part of your cult, you know. They've been lying to their subject. Where was I? Path. Alright, everything is too close to one another, so we're gonna... It's really annoying. Okay, that sounds good. A lot of dragon parts can be used for magical objects, so it's not far off. Alright, so I think we jumped the gun a little bit with the labels. I think we should... I was trying to do this by year, but we'll try and space thing out just a little bit better so it's easier to read with a single glance, you know, what's what. So essentially you're saying that it's a clan of dragon slayers that feel like they're the only ones who can slay dragons. Ah! Come on. Let's make this a little bigger. Well, here's the thing. Dungeon and Dragon, it always depends on what you want to do. Everything is possible. It's not something that's they still write and Dungeon Master Handbook, but they did write this in previous edition. Never simply say no to a player if they have a request, if they want something, if they want their character to be different than what it's supposed to be. For example, in previous edition, there were restrictions for races and class. Some races couldn't play certain class. For example, elves couldn't be paladins. But that's because the base mentality of elves doesn't work with paladins. So paladins would never create a temple. Elves are too free by nature. So it wouldn't work. Paladin needs a level of discipline. It is essentially a militarized branch of a religion. So they need this element of respecting the rules, which elves aren't very good at. So this is why in the rule it stated that elves couldn't be paladins. But if you can't come up with a story that justifies this, something that happened that would create an elf that hates, I don't know, evil in general so much that they are willing to let go of that innate freedom that elves crave. This is how it was presented. They would tell, give me a reason why you're different. If it's a good reason, yeah, okay, you can have that exception. So, based on that, nothing is a bad idea. It always just depends on how you play it, how you build it, and how you incorporate it in your world. So long as you're ready to also change a few elements if it's too difficult to properly balance it. So, I don't know, maybe your idea of this cult doesn't work well. Okay, so just make one or two changes. Give it a world view of how people look at them, and suddenly it becomes justifiable. They believe they're good, but they're not actually good. They have a twisted sense of justice. I don't know. There's always a way to do this, like with the audience in the campaign. He follows, his god is a green dragon. Green dragon are inherently bad. They're expert manipulators. But that's part of the brilliance of this. His character doesn't know that these dragons are manipulators. So him and his clan have been manipulated since the beginning, hundreds of years ago, to believe that green dragons aren't inherently bad. So it works. We have a good paladin who thinks he's doing good, but he's actually doing evil. So watch out when you realize that. All right. So yeah, both for you and for players you might have, remember that nothing is inherently bad idea. It's always possible to change it, to alter it, so that it becomes something different that fits better, that works. Just listen to what your players have to say, and for your own ideas, just be ready to adapt them. The best map that I've made? Well, I've been drawing maps most likely since before you were born. So there's a whole lot of them that have been drawn on huge sheets of paper. Some of them actually good. Using WonderDraft, I've only made maybe 10 maps so far. The best one seems to be the map that the players are playing on right now, because it's the one that has the most details. Yeah, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for we are 2024, 28 years, and I've been drawing maps since just a little bit more than that. So, but I've only been using WonderDraft for the past year and a half. So. Yeah, I'm not kidding when I say that I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for nearly 30 years. I've played on more than one edition. I started with the second edition. Well, no, technically I started with the first edition, but I only played once. The bulk of everything that I've learned was with second edition. This is why there's a lot of lore that comes from second edition when I play. Why is this one bigger than... What's different? Oh? I didn't notice. The font... Everything can work. Absolutely everything can work. There are worlds that already exist. If you like dark themed adventure, you could always look at everything that comes from Ravenloft. Those have a theme that is very dark, with werewolves, with vampire, a lot of lycanthrope, curses, dark gods. No, I want 40. Come on. Ah. Well, anything is possible if you want to make this an element of, I don't know, adventure. I'd say a good example of this is the world in which my adventurers are right now. It's not the base world. They've essentially used a teleportation device in an unstable place, and the place they are right now is actually a sort of a realm stuck between realms. So it's not where they usually adventure. So yeah, remember, you build everything. If you're the dungeon master, what you say goes, period. They used to joke about this, but it's actually true. If you want. Just remember that whenever you create something, it also has to be fun for the players. Otherwise, they won't come back, and no matter how well it is built, if no one plays it, then what's the use? There used to be a meme before about the dungeon master. So, do you know the 3 rules of Dungeon and Dragon? The first rule is Dungeon Master is always right. Second rule, in case of doubt, ask the Dungeon Master. Third rule, if the Dungeon Master is wrong, refer to rule number 1 and 2. So, you're the Dungeon Master. You're always right. It's your world. Like I said, if you want, if it's the world you want, you can have it. Just make sure that it's fun for players to be inside of that world. And be careful about power progression. If you give too much to your players, they get power hungry, and then eventually it sort of crumbles on itself, just falls apart. Don't give too much too quickly to your players. Alright. I feel like this legend is much better now. You can actually read. We have a good idea of what's where. The aesthetic is fine. Alright. We need 2 more labels for the mountains. Yeah, I don't know why. Well, in that case, if it's the point of it all, if you succumb to greed or not, then it needs to be a little obvious that this is the point. Give clues to your players that, oh, be careful about greed, and so on. So, tall mountain, high mountain. Tall mountain. Mountain. And small mountain. Well, just remember, players like their character, so you might find your players wanting to fight gods. Or death, in that case. Alright. That's a nice legend. Everything works. Still haven't figured out how to make rivers so you can see them, but that's the only thing I haven't figured out. Alright, so. Thank you. About these paths, let's see. Now then. Width. Oh, that's kind of better. A little thinner. It's less overwhelming. That's kind of nice. Whenever you're building, and that goes for anyone watching now or in the future, because getting a feeling that I'll have more people watching in the future than right now. Don't be afraid to go back and redo something if you think it's not good, if you think that it's doesn't work exactly the way you want it to. Don't be afraid to just redo it. Yeah, sometimes it takes time, sometimes it's long, and you'd rather do something else, but in the end it might actually make a better world and people are going to enjoy it more. But if you can take shortcuts, why not? Hey, I didn't know I could do that. Well, yeah, you have a certain amount of things that you can do. Hold on, I'll put the map on it. Here we go. Yes, caves. You can absolutely do that if you want to. Because when you go to path, you see on the right side of the app, of the program, you have a wide variety of path style. So if you absolutely want to do this, you can, of course, choose one of them and use that to create an underground network of tunnels. Now, you don't need to make it visible to the players. That's one of the things you can always do. You can't... No, that's not... Sorry. You can make multiple version of your map and have one for you. Here you go. Now we can see better everything. The paths aren't as thick. And the actual size of it when you are 100% is this. It's not actually bad. And like I said, you missed that because you weren't there in the very beginning. Why do I use the dotted path? Well, that's because it's easier to figure out the distance that you actually have to travel. For me, making a map, it's Dungeons and Dragons because 90% of everything that I play is with Dungeons & Dragons. I've learned to readapt Dungeons & Dragons, create different worlds. Before the rule books for Transformers arrived, I even readapted Dungeons & Dragons to play Transformers with it 25 years ago. Now they have rule books for Transformers, so use that instead. But with a dotted line, Dungeons & Dragons calculate things in span of 8 hours. So when they said that it's a day of walk, it's actually 8 hours of walk, which is reasonable. I have walked 12 hours in a day. So you are tired after 8 hours if you walk at your normal pace. So they say that you can walk 24 miles in a day. So this is the reason why this path... well, no, it's not that it's different. It's just that they separated it. So 24 hours is still 24 hours, but 24 hours can be divided in 3, which gives 8 hours. A person needs 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of intense physical activity, and the remaining 8 hours is for light activity. I have walked for 2 months and 3 weeks every day for between 8 to 12 hours in a day, the average being 9 hours. You are tired after 8 hours, so that much makes sense. So yeah, this is why they separated it. 8 hours of physical activity, for example, walking, 8 hours of sleep, and the extra 8 hours is for everything else. Sleeping, making your camp, and things like this. So this is why they say that you make 24 miles in a day, but it's actually 24 miles in 8 hours. You can force your march, but you're going to get fatigue in 5th edition. But where I'm going at is the length of the path that I made is for 1 day of walk. Why did I do this? Because I can, and why did I use a dotted line? Because you can count the number of dots. So you know how many miles there are per dot. When you know this, you can always tell your players how long it's going to take to go from one town to the next town. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you get 14 dots in 8 hours. 14 dots is 24 miles. So 24 miles divided by 14, which means that each and every dot is 1.7 miles. You can make sure that your line is properly adjusted. If you want to make it easy, just put 12 dots per day, which means every single dot will be 2 miles. So all you have to do when your player says, oh, I want to go from this town to this town. Well, all right, you take the map and you just count the numbers of the dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Which means it's probably going to take you something like 7 hours to walk there. With dotted lines, you always know how long it's going to take because you always know the length of a path. You just have to count them. And you don't have to write them on the map, and so the map suddenly becomes completely covered with numbers. And since you have the length of a day of walk there in the legend, if they want to go off-road, just tell them that, okay, this is going to be difficult terrain, so speed is reduced, and you can just use a small ruler and measure it. Oh, okay, they want to go, I don't know, they want to go in the forest. So, just a small ruler, you can take from one town, measure this going into the forest, and you have your distance. You know exactly how long it's going to take to get there. You can use path that is a line, but you lose that ability if you do this. While with the one that are dots, small segments or dot and segments, you can use that measure and just keep track of everything. All right, so now the big question is, are the road sufficiently small? We have a choice between this or, no, I don't want to create another one. Or we reduce them one more, like this. So now we have an even better definition. We see better everything. And the actual size of it on your computer is going to be this. You can still see the path pretty well. But now everything is easier to see. The aesthetic of the map is still there. All right, I think that's good. All right. Hey, autosave. Wonderful function. All right. So, anything missing in here? I think we have everything. All we're missing are names of towns. Also, keep in mind that when you're creating a map, depending on the scale, this one here, it's probably a week and a half to go from one side to the other, if you could walk in midair. So you'll see, it's normal that you see that the paths are a bit crooked. Because of the scale, and it's normal when people walk, path will naturally form how it is the easiest to walk. This is why if you increase a map enough with Google Map, for example, you'll notice that there are practically no older roads that are straight. They're always a bit crooked, going around things. That's because they usually were formed naturally, where people would, ouch, damn, injured myself. They would naturally form where it was the easiest to go. So people would go around small hills, traverse rivers where they were at their narrowest. So this is why the paths are crooked, and this is why this is normal, natural, the way that it's been drawn right now. But the larger the scale, the least crooked they're gonna look. And also, the older a world is, the more you can make it straight lines. And of course, that's only if you want to have a lot of realism. If you don't care about realism, if, for example, you decided that your world was created by a powerful wizard who got the opportunity to see how the rules of creation are made. And so he decided to create a world. Well, then just do it the way that a wizard would. They don't need to be crooked. You don't need to have realism for anything if a wizard created it and is artificially maintaining it. Everything I'm saying about realism, it's always if this is a world that forged itself. The moment you involve gods and wizards that created it and are keep getting involved in how it is, then every rule goes out the window. But if they created it and left it behind in a bubble between layers of reality, then slowly the rules of the world are going to start retaking their position, becoming dominant, and everything's going to evolve the way nature would evolve it. All right. So I don't want to label everything. Every single town. I hate giving names to town. Alright. Labels. We still need to put a few names. So, what did we say we had? I believe we said we have Teardrop Lake. It is right in the middle of the screen. So, why not call it Teardrop Lake? But don't put it as big as this. Let's go with 25 and is teardrop written in a single word? That's a good question. Let's see what internet has to say about this. Teardrop. Single word. Okay. All right. So we got Teardrop Lake. No, I want to increase it. No, why are you fighting me on this? Shut up. Alright, Teardrop Lake. Okay, so we got Teardrop Lakes here. Oh yeah, Misty Mountain in the middle. How the map was named. So let's go with Misty Mountains. Yeah, this is where my dyslexia is hurting more. Okay, that works. Did I ever played or did I ever finished? There's a difference there. Played and finish. So far, it's probably the one that I've been playing right now that has the most potential of being finished. And if it is finished, then it will be the longest game that I played with the same group. Well, almost the same group. There were some changes in the beginning. But I've played several games that lasted a few years. Well, it always depends on it always depends on what you want to do. This one went from level 1 and is most likely going to go all the way to between level 18 and 20. So that's normal that it's going to take a long time to finish. If you decide to make a shorter adventure, then it can be as little as a few months. If you want to think of it as episodes, as a mini series. So if you just want to play one episode, one dungeon, you can. That's the same thing as saying that this is a, I don't know, just a series of, no, I don't want to hear. A series of episodes, like, I don't know, Star Trek, the way that they used to be. Each episode was its own small universe. Then you can have full seasons, which means a longer adventure, usually with a single theme. I don't know if you're familiar with the Doctor Who, how it was with the well, nearly everything up to the last two Doctors. Every season had a little theme. And that theme was followed throughout the season. But every episode was also its own episode. It was sort of just a clue of how the season finale would be. So you can do like this. So I don't know. You can decide that the adventure is going to last 3 levels. So between level 3 and level 6. And create a story which roughly gives that amount of experience, or you can go with milestone and just say, okay, so you go to this town, you say that those people, there the players will be told of where the problem came from. They're going to go there, they're going to get the problem, and then something's going to happen. I don't know, floor collapse under them. They found themselves at the bottom of the mountain, and the last chapter is getting out of the mountain. And when they get out of the mountain, yay, adventure finished. So that can easily last a few months. But if you want to make an adventure which spans 10 levels or 15 levels or all 20 levels of evolution, the adventure can easily last several years. Even more if you decide to go beyond level 20. In past edition, there were characters that went all the way to level 40 or 50. Took a lot of time. I once talked to someone that played a paladin for 10 years, and he was level 50. So there's no hard limit. All right. What's a good name for a marsh? Oh, I'm not good for this. Oh, hey, okay, so what did they give here? Body of water or settlement? Body of water. All right. Let's try this. Let's see what they do. Barren vastness. Yeah. Cheerful ocean. Centaur Lake. Okay, well. Ligo blue. Good lord. Lake unfathomable. Okay, yeah, I can see it. Terrible currents. Flat water. Yeah, no. Like I said, I don't like their name generator. Icy lagoon. Okay. I think I understand how their name generator works. Okay, yeah. Dirty deep depth. Ah, actually, that's actually that could be interesting. The dirty depth marsh. Oh man, there's bound to be a weird story around this one, but no, I'm not gonna take it. Oh, good lord. How do we call everything? So we got Teardrop Lake, we've got Misty Mountain. We've got the oh yeah, for the tall grass, why not? The Hissing Plains. How do you write hissing? Hissing? Is that it? Hissing? Yeah, of course, that doesn't help at all when you look at the definition. No, I don't think I have. Hissing Plains. Definition: the sound like that produce the letter S. Okay, apparently it's written well. Nope, I don't want to know about this. Hissing. Why? What happened? What was this? No. What happened? Alright, that was weird. Hissing Plain. Alright. What else? We have hills. So yeah, I don't know if you heard me, Nijbi. No, I haven't heard of Cinderblock Sally or D20 Deathmatch. So how do we call hills? Well, especially since they're in the hills, you don't have much of a choice. You absolutely have to spend the night there. So maybe something slightly sinister. What could sound sinister? The Stalking Hills. Yeah, why not? Sounds like an interesting name. Bound to have multiple adventures in the Stalking Hills. Yeah, just think about all of the adventures you can have in the Stalking Hills. Why are they called the Stalking Hills? What happened there? Maybe it's part of something that happened. It's a ritual. There's actually a hill that stalks you in there. So many things to make players worry. Stalking Hills. Alright, we got the hills now. Misty Mountain, Stalking Hill, Hissing Plain. How do we call... the mountains to the east? I really don't know. The Cave of Loss? Oh. I feel like it's more like a location inside of mountains. Anyway, it feels like this to me. More like a location inside of mountains. It's a good location. First thing your players will ask is, what happened there? Spider mines. Like I said, again, this feels like a location. It's a good place to have adventure. Definitely keep that on a piece of paper next to it. You know, in the mountain to the east, you can have an adventure. There is a little village that's the furthest village to the east, right next to the city. There, it's a small village, and from there you can walk to the mountains because they had mines, but they had to abandon it 20 years ago. Now, it's simply called the Spider Mines because of what's inside. There's a whole slew of creatures that are spider-themed in the Dungeon Master book. So, interesting adventure. Still not giving me the name of the mountain itself. Or the mountain range, actually. like I said, see? Everything you're saying. The Cave of Loss, the Spider Mines, doesn't make for the name of a good mountain, but it makes for a good name for a place where there can be adventure. So, just because it doesn't work for one thing doesn't mean it can't work for anything. Dungeons and Dragon, you can reuse a lot of things. All right. Other location. Maybe other names will pop up naturally. So we have the Hissing Plains. Oh, then dangerous place to go for the new and young explorer. Yeah, absolutely. It's a place. And on the map that we have here, if I increase it large enough, see there are 2 towns. No, 2 villages. One is the upper portion of the map. 300%. One is at the upper portion of the map, and the other one is at the lower portion of the map. So Spider Mines could be up, and Cave of the Lost could be there, right next to the river. Actually, could be interesting. It's a long river, and at the base of the river, there is an entrance into the mountains. And that entrance is called the Cave of the Lost. See, you got your adventure. But it's still not giving me the name of the mountain range. Yeah. Classic beginning. No one comes back. Just say this to your players and they're just going to throw themselves, or they're going to go somewhere else. Depends on them. Oh, no one ever came back. We'll be the first. There's bound to be plenty of treasure. And they never come back. Mountain of Lies. Well, that's already more interesting for Mountain. Why is it the Mountain of Lies? And sometimes a name can inspire something. Mountain of Lies. That's an interesting name. Mountain of Flies. You have huge flies there. Why do you find flies? Because they have nest. Ooh. The nest. Those in a cave that lives there are not evil, but the villagers call them monsters for how they are, and look in the Cave of Lost. Can be a lie too. Everything can be a lie. Maybe the cave is a lie. Or maybe it's the cake that's a lie. Different game. And I probably can't write the cake is a lie on a map. I don't want to get sued. Mountain of Lies. That's interesting. Yeah, no. Okay. You can put that. Let's leave it to the players to figure out why it's called a Mountain of Lies. I'm sure they'll think of something. Yeah. All right. Put it here. Mountain of Lies. All right. So those are the mountains. We have the plains. We have the hills. Yeah, it's the door dilemma. One door always tells the truth. The other doors always tell the lie. You have to figure out which one is the right door, because one leads to death and the other one leads not to death. So the first thing one door says is, he always lies. Now, how do you figure out which one of them is the right one? Alright, we've got mountains, we've got lake, we got a lake here. I don't know, the swamp. Swamp near the lake. Don't know why. Everyone just calls it the overflow. Yeah. I sense a recurring theme with the names you find. Alright, so the overflow for the swamp. Alright, what about the lake? Looks like a stain. Oh, sorry. Something's not being digested properly. Lake. What can we call a lake? Huh? Mirror Lake. I know it's a bit classic. Feels like everyone's gonna figure this out really quickly, but why not? Why? Because it is always very still on the lake. No one knows why. But even when the wind is blowing, the water on the lake doesn't move. Alright, forests. My microphone's starting to make that thumping sound again. Alright. Forest, forest, forest. No, if anyone else is in the chat, now's the time to talk. Help us find names for things. Because I don't think I will put a name on every single town, city, and village. That's going to be for you to decide. I feel like I did more than my part. Creating the map, the world, the elements, and the major landmarks. But once the landmarks have been made, I don't want to spend an entire stream figuring out the name of 50 city, towns, and villages. Around it, and those turn into like a decay. Oh. It's not a bad story. Keep it. Write it down somewhere. One day you'll be making your own worlds. All of those stories, you'll be happy you've written them somewhere. Your player's going to be able to play this, have their own adventure, their own fun. Yeah, you get it. You have to practice this. So when your players are playing, you want to make sure that they're slightly spooked, and then suddenly you just watch at them all, and when they say, "Oh, I want to do a perception roll," okay, sure, do your perception roll. What do I hear? Damn, people are gonna. Oh. Some players just get chills when you do this. A few episodes ago, my players had a challenge, and the monster just kept laughing at them, even though they kept getting devastating damage. But one of them is, "No, I don't like this creature," because after being hit, the monster reappeared right behind him, struck him, and then it started stroking the back of his neck, just nicely, and just laughing while doing this. The player just went, "Oh, no, I don't like this." Okay, forest, forest, forest. Forest. Everything doesn't need a name, but I feel like some things do. And gotta be careful about giving some names to some weird things sometimes. Alright. There's a grove there. Oh. The fragrant grove. Why not? Gotta make sure that I'm not writing anything stupid. Actually, go. Okay. That's good. That's good. Oh, I feel like this is going to be slightly annoying. Let's go with 200%. So, color. How about we do something else for color? Do we have let's copy this and go back to label. I said go back to label. Okay, that's interesting. Alright, it sort of gives a fade out, fade in, fade something. I'm not sure if I should be saying fade in or fade out for this, but at least it pops up. You can actually see what's written. And that's probably not a bad idea. Alright, so we got the Fragrant Grove. It's right there. Let's go at... Make mine. Oh yeah. Fragrant Grove. Alright. No, I don't want it. Yeah, it's Dungeons and Dragons. Well, any games you want to do, honestly. You can just do however it feels right. You know, the first thing you realize when you're playing with players, when this is something that I actually like, why I choose Dungeons and Dragons over writing stories. It's because there is an element of life in getting players involved, that they're going to have answers that you didn't necessarily think about, and that creates things. With my group right now, one of them found a demon spider and wants to try and raise it. Of course, he forgot about it and he left it in his room at their base, and they've been gone for a while, so yeah, that's gonna be weird when they get back, but they're going to do weird things to your world, and that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's creating odd things. Come on. All right, all right. Oh, 30. Okay. 32. We just learned that the numbers in there, you can only see one, but it can actually go quite high. Okay. It's interesting to know. All right, all right. So we got a fragrant grove. Feel like we need a name for the forest up there. We don't need a name for every forest. Just forest where something happened. Well, I'm gonna try and figure out names for this off camera, because I really can't imagine that it's a whole lot of fun watching someone trying to come up with names. So, I think this covers the general elements of the map. You have a map that you can play in, everything's there, you have the distance for walking that you can deduce just by counting the dots, which we are at 1, 2, 3. Oh wow, that's going to be hard counting this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 dot is 24 miles, which means divided by 16. Oh, nice. Exactly 1.5 miles. Feels like it was destined to be. No, it was a good idea. Why shouldn't I put it there? It's the whole point of doing a stream. It's get to do something in front of everyone, and everyone gets to participate just a little bit. And sometime someone will say a name, it will stick, and yeah, it goes there. All right, just a little bit of like this. All right, so it stands out a little bit. So we got 1.5 miles. Everything's there. All right, so save. Now, let's create a new one. Same thing, just that now we're going to be tackling the colors. And I'm separating it because I want to be able to print that one out and And the thing is, everyone learns at the end of the campaign that the entire island is actually a mimic. So, like I was saying, don't be afraid to create duplicates of your map, because right now this feels like a map that your player could buy. It's been hand drawn by someone, but if you want to use that map for your campaign, you might want to use one that's colored. So you can actually go back from one map to the other if you want to make modifications, especially names. Create a second one. So we got Misty Mountain with color. Alright, well, I haven't played a whole lot with colors. I tend to keep my maps in this color, just because, you know, it's kind of nice. So, let me remember. I feel like, yeah, no. All right. Oh, yeah. I forgot about this. Creating your own colors. All right, so yeah, all right. Forgot that I needed to create my own colors. All right, so the first one is, so we are on the right side of the program. So I'm in land. Land, you get a brush tool. That never used that. All right. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth one is like a large brush. So if you click on this, the right side of the map is going to become different types of fillers and the brush size. So brush size 128. I'm not sure what it refers to. Maybe the size of pixel. So the brush opacity, velocity, most likely for the speed. Okay. All right. That's water. And that's for erasing. Yeah, that's for erasing. Okay. Good. That's a very subtle. I completely forgot that you had to make your own colors. Oh, that's annoying. Alright, so as you can see, I just made a bit smudge. Now, brush size. That speaks for itself. That's brush size. Brush opacity. So that's the speed at which it fills itself. Velocity, I feel like it's going to be I have no clue what velocity refers to, honestly. Yeah, got no idea. All right, so colors. Okay. I feel like that's an interesting mountain color. Maybe it's too dark. Oh yeah, maybe. All right. Right now, I'm more concerned about making something that you can use rather than small details. But yeah, it could. So here's one thing that is interesting to know about the software. When you use the setting that I've used, when you add color, it's going to color the objects along with it. So if I just put a of brown, the color, the mountain that touches the place where I put the brown also become brown. So can easily just color the mountains. Is it too dark? Like it may be too dark. Being annoying again. That looks interesting. Nice color. Oops. We got it. All right. Small lesson. Don't just brush the whole thing, because you make a mistake, you try and go back once, and it erased everything. So don't be afraid to just go a little bit at a time. So if you make a mistake and you use the undo key, you don't lose everything like I just did. That's dumb. It's called doing a stupid thing, which we all do when we start. Don't worry about it. Because if you think you are never going to do anything stupid, then you're going to have a really bad surprise at one point. That looks interesting. Nice mountains. Alright. Gonna reduce the brush size a little bit. Put the velocity back to where it was. Just because I need a little bit more precision. I'm gonna increase the size of this thing. Be precise, which means we can reduce the size of the brush even more. Alright, alright, alright. Why am I not making the big mountains? Because I'm going to make them a different color, more gray color. It's gonna give an impression of, oh, those are different mountains. Okay. More of a gray color. Oh, that may be a bit too aggressive of a gray. Yes. So this one's gonna be called Biggie Mountain. Oh, the name doesn't show properly. Oh, never mind. Oh, for everything? Yeah, no. Oops. It still feels too aggressive or a gray. Yeah. Ah, yes, 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 yes. Good, 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 good. All right. That looks nice. Looks nice, looks nice. Oops. Ah, come on. No. I think I'm gonna go back to the brown. Increase this. Lower the size of the brush, and we're gonna really get in there. Get those. this mountain. Yeah. All right. Land. Brush. Brown. Right. All right. Get in the places where the brush didn't get the first time. Okay. 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 Right. All right. That works. The mountain gray. Okay. What color do we do the big mountain? Misty Mountain. I think we have our name. So let's do it nearly white. Too white. Can barely see the difference. Okay. Maybe just like this. No, that's not right. How about this? No, it's barely visible. Maybe we should really go to something that's much closer to white. Yeah, alright. The mountain isn't reacting. Oh. So that's the problem. The mountain isn't reacting. Oh yeah, someone who likes doing this will have a field day. Because I just realized that if you start putting color, it literally becomes... Alright, so... I just want to be sure. The mountain isn't reacting. Or is it just me who just isn't seeing where I should actually put the color? Landmass, brush, let's go with this. Alright, so they're changing colors. So let's keep going with our idea of Misty Mountain is going to be nearly snowing white. So why? Aha! There it is. The color point was right behind the peak. All right. Hills. I feel like maybe we got an interesting color here. No, honestly, I feel like this color goes probably better with grassy hills. So let's go here and where's my cursor? There it is. No. Something that's probably a bit golden. So we're gonna go more to the yellows. Like this. Increase brush size. Oh, that's too big. Still too big. Alright. Go all the way to the mountains with this. No, not all the way to the town itself. Like this. Right. So like this. It's also a little bit inside of the tall grass. Oops. All right. That's an interesting color. So for the hills, I think we were in the right place for hills. Don't want to make it too... No, that's too brown. This is one I wish I were better at painting. Do we have the same? Yeah, we have the brush for water also. Water. Okay, let's try this. Interesting color. I think it works. All right. Interesting color, interesting color. The hills. What color do we make the hills? First, let's go with something that's just a little bit deeper. For the ocean. Right. All right. Okay. That's kind of nice. Sorry, I'm not talking a lot. Really not that used to putting colors on my maps. Honestly, I like the feel of hand-drawn maps. This is why coloring the maps is not something that I have a lot of experience with. I had completely forgotten that you need to build most of your colors. It's slightly annoying. To me, anyway. But hey, if it helps any of you, then yeah. No regrets. All right. Colors. Okay. I think this also means that for the lake, I want to have a paler blue. Let's remove that color completely. Reduce the brush. It's still too dark. All right. Remove the color. Try this. Still too much. Maybe you go like this. Remove that color. Oh, see, that's nice. All right. Still not telling me what color for the hells. I feel like I want to have some level of green, but also maybe like this. Yeah, a little bit of green, but I think I want to have green mixed with brown. Oh, maybe we got something here. Too much. Needs to be a bit more pale. Microphone again. No, not in that direction. Maybe in that direction. No, it's literally gray. No. Be like this. No, that's too bright. Hey, if anyone in chat has a good grasp of colors, I am not above receiving help. I can recognize when I am at my limit in something, and now this is not what I want. Green and black, so going more toward the bottom. I don't know. I'll try. I think it's going to be too dark. Yeah, too dark. Am I doing that sound? Good one. Green and yellow. No, that's a bit where I was. The hard part is trying to figure out. Actually, that's kind of a nice color for the marsh. Yeah, that's a nice marshy color. Alright, you haven't figured out the hills, but we figured out the marsh. Alright. I'm not happy. Alright. Oh goodness, we're 9 minutes away from the end of this stream, so that's probably why I'm a bit tired. Hazelnutty color. How about reducing? Hey, actually, that's not a bad color. Just increase the size of the brush. increase the size a little bit. More precise. Even more precise than this. And go right up to where it hits autosave. Oh, okay. So I gotta keep a light touch. Got it. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna extend the color of the hills. Do we want to extend the color of the hill all the way there? No, we don't. All right. Now we've got our hills. Ooh. Bad coloring. More homogeneous. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Just gonna remove the excess here. The town here isn't in the hell. Go back to our mix. Like that. I'm gonna no color. Okay, that works, that works. Yeah. Oh, I'm probably going to fiddle with this a little bit more to finish some parts, and probably next episode will be the finishing touch. All right. Name Hills. Okay. Name Marsh. Okay. Big mountains, small mountains, small M, big M, is it? Okay. Change color, no, change name. Big mountains. That's just this is for the tall grass. All right. What was this? Almost identical. All right. All right. Probably just gonna be a color for the trees left and the plain. And I'm probably going to try and figure out a few other names during the week so I can just add them there. And I think this is going to be the map. Maybe I'm going to try and figure out a few names for cities and towns, but not villages. Villages, you need to do that for yourself. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. It's good first attempt. Maybe the colors are too bright. Maybe I should dull them down just a little bit, but other than that, it's not bad. I think I like it. Alright, and for your stat change, remember that in Dungeons & Dragons, +1 is huge in a stat. +3, that's immense. Just to give you a reference, 10 is considered the average, and someone who is in Le Cirque du Soleil, which is one of the greatest circus act you can find, it probably starts at 15 or 16, so on 18. So +3 is immense. It's a huge bonus. Maybe just go with +1 wisdom and +2 max. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed the creation of the map. We're slowly putting in colors, so we are really at the ending of this. Probably next episode will be the last episode on this map. We're gonna start figuring out what the next map is. I don't know. I'm leaning toward an island chain. Like I said, I like islands because it gives a natural barrier that the player can barely overcome, so it's easy to contain them. But we'll tackle region of continents. Don't worry about it. But for now, just gonna figure out a good color for forest and plains, and that's probably going to be it for the map. And probably gonna try and put some names on cities, towns, and at least one forest name. I mean, I have to put a name on a forest somewhere. All right. Thank you for being here tonight. Hope you had a pleasant evening, well, whatever part of the day it is for you, where you are. Or when you'll be watching this. Who knows? Maybe you'll be watching this in a year, and climate change will have made it so that there are no longer day and night cycle. Who knows? I hope we don't lose day and night cycle. I'm already so disappointed by losing most of winter here. I like winter. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Hope we'll see you again next Wednesday. Not next Wednesday, next Thursday. If you want to do a map. If you want to see the live D&D session, it's Wednesday. Rebroadcast on Friday. Yeah, that's it. Remember, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. You can make donation, become a Patreon, subscribe on Twitch. All of the informations for these are below the window. Well, at least they're below the window if you're watching this on Twitch, YouTube, and Patreon. And if you can't do any of those, there's still a very free thing you can do, which helps tremendously, and that's spreading the word of this channel. It is very much appreciated, and who knows, maybe next time Nibs will not be alone talking in chat. I don't mind talking to people talking to me in chat, but hey. It's always fun when there's several opinions. All right. See you next time. As always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.